What if enlightenment, emotion, symbols, and time itself were all sacred tools in your awakening? The essence of spiritual wisdom, the forces that shape consciousness, and the cosmic cycles that birth and dissolve creation. What if divine truth could be heard, not from books, but from silence? A rishi is an enlightened sage who, through deep meditation, perceives the eternal truths of the cosmos. The Vedas were not written, they were heard by rishis in states of pure awareness. These seers are beyond intellect, beyond ego, living embodiments of spiritual insight. A rishi doesn't speak truth, they become it. Their words are eternal, not because they wrote them, but because they lived them. They are the soul's messengers across lifetimes. What if a single sentence could reveal your true self? The Mahavakyas are the great statements of the Upanishads, such as Tat Tvam Asi, you are that, and Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. These truths are not philosophical, they are direct revelations of the unity between Atman and Brahman. Meditating on these awakens inner knowing. They are keys that unlock illusion. Each Mahavakya ends the search by dissolving the seeker. In one phrase, the universe becomes self-realized. What if stagnation wasn't the enemy, but the sign it's time to awaken? Tamas is the guna of darkness, ignorance, and resistance. It creates lethargy, confusion, depression, and attachment to illusion. While needed for rest and stability, too much tamas pulls the soul into unconscious living. Spiritual practice is the fire that burns through tamas. Tamas is the night before the dawn of sattva. It is not evil. It is the veil before awakening. What if energy without purpose became your biggest distraction? Rajas is the guna of motion, ambition, desire, and passion. It fuels creativity, but also restlessness, ego, and attachment. Rajas can build empires or destroy peace. It is necessary, but must be harnessed through awareness. Rajas is the fire that must be guided toward light. Without sattva, Rajas becomes chaos in disguise. It is the storm you must learn to ride, not fear. What if your natural state was already peace? Sattva is the guna of clarity, harmony, compassion, and wisdom. It is the quality closest to truth and the goal of spiritual life. Sattva brings joy without craving, balance without suppression, and light without force. It is the fragrance of a pure heart. The more sattva you cultivate, the more divine your life becomes. In sattva, the soul remembers its true nature. What if the way you feel became the way you worship? Bhava is the emotional attitude with which one approaches the divine. Love, surrender, joy, or even awe. In Bhakti Yoga, the bhava determines the depth of connection. To love Krishna as a friend or Devi as a mother is bhava in action. It's not just prayer, it's emotional union. Bhava transforms dry ritual into soulful offering. It is the mood that turns devotion into divine intimacy. What if a single form could represent the formless? The linga is the abstract symbol of Shiva, representing the unmanifest reality, pure consciousness, and cosmic creation. It is not a phallic symbol. It is the union of Shiva and Shakti, the timeless and the dynamic. Worshipping the linga connects one to the infinite silence beyond form. It is the axis of the universe, the stillness from which all motion begins. In its simplicity lies the entire cosmos. The linga is not a shape, it is Shiva himself. What if one sound could purify space and awaken spirit? The shankha, or sacred conch, is blown at the start of rituals to dispel negativity and invite divine energy. It is associated with Vishnu, symbolizing the cosmic vibration of Om. Its sound purifies the environment, chakras, and even thoughts. It is the trumpet of truth. In temples, its resonance marks the arrival of the divine. The Shankha doesn't just call the gods, it awakens the god within. What if a stick could represent unwavering commitment? The Danda is the staff carried by monks and renunciates, symbolizing discipline, protection, and authority over the senses. It represents the spinal column, the path of awakening through balance and uprightness. A Danda is not for striking, it's for support. It is the soul's declaration of stillness in movement. To carry the Danda is to walk the straight path, without wavering. It is the walking stick of the awakened. What if shapes and patterns could mirror the divine? A mandala is a geometric diagram representing the universe, used in meditation, rituals, and temple design. Every point, circle, and line maps the journey from the outer world to the center of consciousness. Mandalas are visual mantras, windows into the structure of existence. To meditate on a mandala is to realign with cosmic order. It is the architecture of spiritual awakening. What if time wasn't linear, but a sacred spiral returning to itself? The Kala Chakra, or Wheel of Time, represents the cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth in Hindu cosmology. It moves through yugas, kalpas, and cosmic dissolutions, showing that time is a dance, not a straight line. Kala Chakra also refers to inner time, where the body, breath, and mind follow cycles. To understand Kala Chakra is to flow, not resist. It reminds us, everything changes, except the center. And at the center there is only stillness. What if faith was not belief, but a practice of devotion? Shraddha is the combination of faith, sincerity, and intention behind every spiritual act. It empowers rituals, fuels transformation, and sustains effort when the path feels unclear. Shraddha is the root of both ritual and realization. Without it, even sacred words fall flat. With Shraddha, even silence becomes divine. It is the heart's commitment to the unseen. Shraddha is not what you think, it's what you live. What if hunger became a doorway to higher energy? Upavasa means staying close to God and refers to spiritual fasting, abstaining from food to purify body, mind, and karma. More than discipline, it's a ritual of self-offering. Fasting shifts focus from survival to surrender. It weakens the ego and strengthens the spirit. When done with intention, every pang becomes prayer. Upavasa is not about denying the body, it's about feeding the soul. What if feeding others became the highest form of devotion? Pandara is the sacred distribution of free food to devotees and the needy, especially during festivals, yatras, or at ashrams. It's an act of selfless service, honoring the divine in every being. Pandara turns a meal into a blessing of unity and equality. No one leaves hungry, not body nor soul. In every plate offered, the divine is fed. What if the end was not destruction, but divine stillness? Pralaya is the dissolution of the universe, where all creation returns to Brahman, the formless source. It is thereest of time, where gods sleep and matter dissolves into energy. But Pralaya is not to be feared. It is the return home. It reminds us that what has a beginning will always return to the eternal. In Pralaya, all illusion ends, and only truth remains. It is the silence before the next divine breath.